What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking out the video. My name is Kyle and today we're going to take a look at the Moxie pedal by Wampler. Just wanted to add one more reference for you guys that are out there looking at this pedal. So what we're going to do today is I'm just going to play through this with a Stratocaster. We'll play it with a humbucker guitar, swap the amps around a little bit, we'll check out the switches on the pedal, and we'll also try it in 9 volt and 18 volt mode, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the pedal. So let's get going. First, let's talk about what this is. The Moxie is Wampler's version of a tube screamer, and specifically a TS10. If you saw Brian Wampler's video when he made this pedal, he said that he looked online for a TS10 and he couldn't find one for a reasonable price, so he just decided to make one. So I thought that was pretty cool. The Moxie comes with a metal housing and a metal foot switch, but it also has metal knobs that feel really good in your hands and they're really smooth to turn. It's got a couple of extra switches that change the tone of the pedal. You've got a voice switch and a fat switch. The jacks are on the sides and the power supply is on the top, and it allows you to either use 9 volts or 18 volts. So I think this pedal's got some pretty cool features on it. Let's check it out. Alright, so here's my clean sound. Okay, let's kick the pedal on. I think that sounds pretty good. So you can see that this is at the low gain setting here. And again, let's flick it on and off a couple more times just to hear what it sounds like. Alright, now what I want to do is just turn the gain up on the pedal and see what it sounds like with that. So here we are right now. Let's give it a little bit more. Take the volume down some. Alright, I think that sounds pretty good, but I think I like it a little bit better with the gain a little further down. So we'll put it back to about halfway and see how that sounds. Alright, I like that. I'd probably run it with the gain down a little bit more, but I think it sounds good with the gain up. And we're going to check out the voice switch this time. What this does is flattens out the EQ a little bit, and I'm curious if it's still going to sound like a tube screamer when you do that, if it's going to maybe be a little more clonish or something. So let's check it out. Okay, real quick. Settings without the voice switch on. And now with the voice switch. like the way that sounds. Again, it's lost some of its tube screamer characteristics to me, but it still sounds really good. Very usable. I dig it. It sounds really good. Sounds really good. All right, let's check out the fat switch now. All right, here it is. Moxie on, no fat switch. That really kicked it into gear there. Wow. Wow. That's a lot louder, but I'm still not clipping, so that's really good. But man, that really brought it up in the room. I hope you can hear that in the audio. I like that a lot. That's really, really good. I don't know how that's going to stack with other pedals though. Might get some squealing going on with that in the mix, but by itself, that sounds freaking awesome. I almost didn't say freaking. While I've got the Strat out, I think what I want to do is go ahead and compare the 9-volt version versus the 18-volt. So here it is at 9 volts. A glorious A chord. So now let me swap it out to the 18-volt and we'll hear what that sounds like. All right, now we're in 18-volt mode. It feels a little bit fuller to me. When you've got it in 9-volt mode, it's a little bit nasally compared to this. This is a lot fuller. I'll go ahead and play those two samples again, and this time I'll put them back to back so you can do a little bit better comparison. Alright, so personally I think I'd run in the 18-volt mode if the option was available because it just sounds a little bit fuller and clearer to me. Alright, now let's swap the guitars out and go to a guitar with some humbuckers. And I've been playing through the Blues Junior with this guitar, so I'm going to swap over to the Marshall as well. So give me a second and we'll check that out. Alright, I've swapped the guitar out for something with humbuckers in it. Decided to go with the Revstar for this, and like I mentioned earlier, I am playing out of the Marshall now. I've rolled the pedal back down to lower gain settings, and I did swap it back to 9 volts just because I figured that's probably going to be a little more common. So let's hear what it sounds like with some humbuckers. This is clean. That kicks a lot harder with some humbuckers. I feel like we're kind of back at the higher gain spot that we were earlier with the Strat. And you can see on the settings that we're right about at 9 o'clock. So it's not up very high. It's still pretty kicking with the humbuckers, like I said. Alright, I'm liking the way it sounds with humbuckers. Let's add a little bit of gain to it. Alright, I really like the way that sounds with humbuckers. So I think for single coils, I like it better with lower gain, but with humbuckers, man, it's really sounding good with the higher gain. I like that a lot. Let's roll it back down a little bit and try out the switches. Alright, so we're just going to keep the gain right in the middle, and this is where we're at. And now we'll check out the voice switch. Alright, again, I'm getting kind of the same vibes as earlier. It sounds really good. Not exactly like a Tomb Screamer, but definitely usable. So let's move on to the fat switch. Moxie without the fat switch. Alright, so again, this is really fattening up the sound in the room. I'm liking the way this sounds, and I think it will be really good for leads. So let's play around on it a little bit and see how it sounds. Alright, the last thing I want to do is try this in 18 volt mode. I am curious about it now because with the Stratocaster, I thought the 18 volts really thickened it up and made it cook just a little bit more. That gave it just the right sizzle for the Strat. So I'm curious if on the humbuckers, it's going to be a little too much because this sounds really full to me already. So let's check that out. So I'll play this, I'll swap it, I'll play it, and then I'll put the two clips back to back like I did earlier so you can hear them together. So here it is, 9 volts. Alright, and here it is in 18. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I didn't really feel like it made too much of a difference with the humbuckers. I mean, it may be just a little bit more sizzle there, but you know, it didn't stand out to me as much as it did with the Strat. So, pretty interesting. All right, so let me give you my final thoughts on the Wampler Moxie. I think this is a great sounding pedal, and all of the functionality is usable on it. It might be a little bit gainier than the tube screamers I've tried in the past, but I know this model is based on a TS10, and I've never tried one of those before. I typically use a TS8 or TS9. So I think the thing sounds great though, and like I said, I think all the functionality is usable. The voice switch sounds really good. It kind of makes it sound a little bit less like a tube screamer when it flattens out that EQ, but I know there's a lot of people out there that really don't care for tube screamers, so you may find that useful. I think the fat switch is fantastic, especially for lead. It really fattens up the tone, fills the whole thing out, and it sounds great. And I also think it's cool that they give you the option to do 9 volts or 12 volts. I didn't hear as much of a difference with the humbuckers as I did with the single coils, but I did think it sounded a lot better with the 18 volts with the single coils. So again, it's just cool that they give you that option. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys if you're looking at buying this pedal or if you're just in the market for a tube screamer. I really do appreciate you coming and hanging out today and checking out the video. If you liked it, please remember to hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. Until next time, take it easy and keep playing.